I'm 85 years old. I was a good mother. I believed that completely for decades. What I didn't see is that somewhere along the way, I stopped giving love and started needing it back. My daughter felt that difference long before I did. It took me until I was past 80 to understand something I had spent decades getting wrong. And I want to warn you, what I'm about to say is not easy, not for me to say, and maybe not for you to hear. My youngest daughter went quiet on me for almost 3 years, not completely silent, cards on holidays. A phone call maybe once a month, short, pleasant on the surface. But the real conversations, the ones where you say something true, those stopped. And for a long time, I told myself I knew exactly why. She was busy. She had her own family. I had explanations, and those explanations made me feel better, but they weren't honest. So let me start with the question I kept pushing away for years. Was the distance her fault or mine? I didn't ask that question for a long time, because asking it honestly meant I might not like the answer. I remember the exact moment things shifted. It wasn't dramatic. No fight, no slam door, no words that couldn't be taken back. It was a Sunday afternoon in November. She called to say she couldn't come for Thanksgiving that year. Her in-laws needed her. I said, "Of course, don't worry about it." I said it calmly. But then I said something else. I said, "After everything I've done, I understand just that." No raised voice, no tears. Said it quietly and hung up. And I told myself I had been perfectly reasonable. Here's what I didn't see then. Those 5 words did more damage than any argument we had ever had. She called less after that. And I spent the next year telling myself she was ungrateful, that her husband had turned her away from me. I kept a running account in my head. All the sacrifices, all the years, every school pickup, every birthday, every time I went without so she could have something better. I kept score. I never showed her the scorecard, but she felt the weight of it anyway. This is where I was wrong. When you carry resentment quietly, people sense it. They may not be able to name it, but they feel something heavy every time they hear your voice. I thought I was being patient. I thought I was holding things together. What I was actually doing was making her not want to call. And the question I kept asking myself, was I being abandoned or was something else happening? I was asking it wrong. After my husband died, after I retired, I lost most of what had held my sense of self together. I was no longer a wife, no longer going to work, and I had leaned into being needed as a mother far more than I realized. When she didn't need me in the same way anymore, I didn't know quite who I was. So instead of working that out for myself, I started reaching toward her, calling more, finding small reasons to check in, asking about her life in ways that felt caring but were, honestly, something closer to grasping. And this is the part that hurt the most to admit. I had been calling because I needed her, not the other way around. That took years to say without flinching. Once I saw it, really saw it, I had to ask the harder question. If I had been wrong about this, what else had I been wrong about? Here's what no one tells you about this stage of life. The children grow up, the grandchildren arrive, and you're still there. Present, loving, available, but no longer at the center of anything. That shift, if you're not ready for it, can feel like rejection. It isn't always rejection, but it feels that way, and the feeling is real even when the interpretation is completely wrong. Now, and I want to be fair here, I don't think it's wrong to expect some presence from your children. I gave a significant part of my life to raising them. That matters. It should matter. But here's the question I couldn't answer simply. Do adult children owe their parents emotional presence? On one hand, love freely given shouldn't become a debt. On the other, something in a parent-child relationship goes beyond transaction. Pretending otherwise isn't honest either. What I was missing was simpler and harder. When I made her feel guilty, quietly, with just a phrase, with a silence that said more than words, I wasn't drawing her closer. I was giving her a reason to stay away. Guilt doesn't make people want to come towards you. It makes them tired. And she was already carrying the weight of her job, her children, her marriage, her own life. My unspoken expectations didn't feel like love to her. They felt like one more thing she was failing at. I started to understand that her silence wasn't indifference. It was overwhelm. She loved me, I don't doubt that. But our conversations had become heavy, and she was protecting herself the only way she knew how, by keeping some distance. That distinction between pulling away and protecting yourself, I wish someone had explained it to me sooner. Because for a long time, I treated them as the same thing. They are not. Here's what I didn't want to face. I was close to losing her, not to death, not to a fight, just a slow, quiet distance that hardens over time until one day it's simply the way things are. That thought that I could end my life with a daughter who was technically still there, but really, truly gone. That's what finally made me move. So I started making different choices. Small ones at first. I stopped calling with a hidden agenda. I stopped keeping score. When she called, I tried to be genuinely interested in her life, not as a way to get something back, but because she is a person I actually love. I found things to be involved in that had nothing to do with my children. A book group, morning walks with a neighbor. These things sound modest. They were modest, but they gave me back something I hadn't realized I'd lost. A self that didn't depend on being needed. Not all at once, not magically. The old resentment still surfaces sometimes. I still think about all the years, all the effort, and feel something that isn't quite fair. I don't pretend otherwise, but I've learned not to let it run the conversation. My relationship with my daughter is better now, not perfect. We don't talk every day, but when we talk, something real is there again. She told me last year, gently, that she feels like she can breathe around me now. I didn't say anything. I thought about it for days. Not every story ends this way. Some distances become permanent. Some damage doesn't fully heal. I'm not going to promise that changing yourself fixes everything. It doesn't, but it changes what's possible. So here's what I've concluded, honestly, after all of it. Was the distance her fault? Partly. She could have said something instead of going quiet. Was it mine? More than I admitted to myself for years. Was it both? Yes. Most things between parents and adult children are. How much of what we call love is, I'll leave you with this, actually need dressed up in a more flattering word? And here's the question that still stays with me at 85, the one I think is worth sitting with. If your child had to describe what it feels like to talk to you, would the word they'd reach for be warm or heavy? You don't have to answer that out loud, but I think most of us, if we're honest, already know.